Welcome to our channel. Today, we're unlocking the secrets of ultra-rare Roosevelt dimes, coins that might look ordinary but can be worth thousands. Stay tuned to find out how one could be sitting in your collection, ready to surprise you with a fortune. In 1980, America was in a period of transition, both politically and economically. It was a year marked by significant events that shaped the course of history, and among these events was the circulation of a coin that would later capture the attention of numismatists and collectors alike, the 1980 USA 1-dime coin. This seemingly humble dime, weighing just 2.27 grams and measuring 17.91 millimeters in diameter, would later come to represent not only the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint but also an era in coinage that speaks to the nuances of production, design, and, ultimately, the unexpected surprises that history can hold. Before diving into the specifics of the 1980 dime, let's take a step back and look at the broader context of the time. The late 1970s and early 1980s were a period of economic turbulence in the United States. Inflation was a major concern, and the country was navigating the challenges of an energy crisis. In 1980, President Jimmy Carter was nearing the end of his first term, while in the background, the tensions of the Cold War were ever present. It was a time of uncertainty, but also one of resilience. It's against this backdrop that the U.S. Mint continued its operation, creating coins like the one we're going to explore today. The dime, which is a 10-cent coin, had already been in circulation for many years before 1980. In fact, the design of the U.S. dime has gone through various iterations since its inception in 1796. But by the time 1980 rolled around, the design had settled into a familiar and iconic one, featuring Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who had passed away in 1945. Roosevelt's portrait had been chosen for the dime in 1946, shortly after his death, and it had remained unchanged ever since. This timeless design was crafted by artist John R. Sinek, whose work left a lasting mark on American coinage. Roosevelt's image on the dime was meant to honor his leadership and legacy, particularly his role in steering the country through the Great Depression and World War II. It was a design that resonated with the American public, and over the decades, it became an enduring symbol of the nation's resilience and strength. On the reverse side of the coin, the dime features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols, carefully chosen, represent liberty, peace, and strength. The combination of these elements on the coin created a design that was both meaningful and visually striking. In 1980, the U.S. Mint continued to produce these dimes as part of its regular coinage production. However, it was not just the design of the dime that collectors would later come to appreciate. The minting process, which involved striking coins with precision, sometimes led to subtle variations in the coins produced. These variations, often overlooked at first, would later become key markers for collectors seeking to find rare and valuable examples. One particular aspect of the 1980 dime that caught the attention of collectors was the possibility of certain dimes being struck with a proof finish. Proof coins are specially minted to have a high-quality finish, typically used for collectors' sets. These coins are made using specially polished dies, and the resulting coins have a mirror-like finish with sharp details that make them stand out from regular circulation coins. While most dimes in 1980 were struck for circulation, a limited number were struck as proofs, and these coins were not distributed to the general public. For most collectors, proof coins hold a special place in their collections due to their rarity and superior craftsmanship. In fact, the 1980 proof dimes are highly sought after by numismatists, and they can command significant premiums when they are found in pristine condition. The careful attention to detail in the minting process made these coins stand out, and it was this precision that helped elevate the 1980 dime into the world of rare and valuable coins. As with most coins, the value of the 1980 dime in everyday circulation was just 10 cents. But in the world of numismatics, where rare coins are prized for their historical significance, rarity, and condition, the story is quite different. The value of a 1980 dime depends on several factors, including its condition, whether it is a proof coin, and if there are any unusual minting errors that may make it unique. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of finding a coin with a unique characteristic that sets it apart from others. For the 1980 dime, there were some cases where minting errors occurred, leading to variations that were not originally intended. These errors are often of particular interest to collectors because they are rare and can dramatically increase the value of a coin. For example, some 1980 dimes were found with double die errors, where the design was struck multiple times, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the image. These kinds of errors are not only fascinating from a technical perspective, but they also make the coin more visually striking. A 1980 dime with a double die error can be worth far more than a standard 1980 dime, and in some cases, these errors can push the value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Over the years, the demand for high-quality 1980 dimes, particularly those with minting errors or proof finishes, has grown steadily. Collectors have come to appreciate the subtle beauty and history behind this particular coin, and as a result, it has become a highly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. Coins that were once considered commonplace, such as the 1980 dime, have now become prized possessions, with some even fetching prices well beyond what anyone could have imagined when they were first minted. But what makes the 1980 dime particularly noteworthy among collectors today is a very specific and rare find that has captured the imaginations of coin enthusiasts and investors alike. One particular 1980 dime, in pristine condition and with an extremely rare minting error, has been sold at auction for an astonishing $117,000. So, what makes this dime so special? The answer lies in its condition, the rarity of the error, and the demand from collectors who recognize its historical and numismatic significance. It's a prime example of how the world of coin collecting can turn a simple piece of currency into a multi-thousand-dollar investment. For those who are fortunate enough to own one of these rare coins, the 1980 dime represents not only a piece of American history but also a tangible connection to the past that continues to hold value in the present. For most of us, though, the 1980 dime remains a small, everyday coin, tucked away in our pocket change or sitting unnoticed in a coin jar. But for those who understand the intricacies of coin collecting, it serves as a reminder of the many surprises that history can hold. What may seem like an ordinary coin today could very well be a future treasure tomorrow, and so, as we reflect on the 1980 USA 1 dime coin, it's clear that its value lies not just in its monetary worth, but in its story. The story of an era, the craftsmanship behind its design, the careful minting process, and the collectors who recognize its significance. In the world of numismatics, the 1980 dime has earned its place as a symbol of both history and opportunity. Up next, the 1984 Roosevelt 1 dime, a coin that at first glance might seem like a simple part of everyday life, but in the world of numismatics, it holds a much deeper story. This small, 10-cent coin, one of the most common denominations in the United States, carries with it a rich history, a timeless design, and the potential for remarkable value. As we dive into the history and significance of the 1984 Roosevelt dime, we'll uncover why this seemingly ordinary coin is anything but ordinary, and why it has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. By the end, we'll reveal the stunning price that this coin could fetch in today's market, something that will surely surprise you. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946, was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. At the time of Roosevelt's death, there was an immediate push to memorialize his leadership and his incredible impact on the nation. Roosevelt had served as president through the darkest days of the Great Depression and the turmoil of World War II. Under his leadership, the country navigated some of its most difficult times, and his legacy of strength, perseverance, and vision left a lasting mark on the nation. To honor his memory, the U.S. Mint chose to place his likeness on the dime, a coin that was already an established part of American currency. The design of the coin, created by artist John R. Sinek, features a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse, front, side, with the word Liberty inscribed alongside the year of minting. The image of Roosevelt is one of dignity and seriousness, embodying the gravitas with which he led the country through its most challenging times. On the reverse side of the coin, Sinek's design includes a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols represent the values Roosevelt stood for: liberty, peace, and strength. The torch represents liberty, while the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. These symbols combine to create a powerful message, one that reflects the essence of Roosevelt's presidency and his enduring influence on American society. This simple yet profound design became one of the most iconic in American coinage, and it would remain unchanged for decades, with only slight alterations to the mint marks or the year. Fast forward to 1984, and the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for almost 40 years. By this time, the design had become synonymous with the U.S. Mint's identity. The public had grown accustomed to the dime's familiar appearance, and it had been a staple of daily transactions for generations of Americans. However, in the world of numismatics, where value is often dictated by rarity, condition, and sometimes even the smallest of errors, the 1984 Roosevelt dime was anything but just another coin. Like most coins, the 1984 Roosevelt dime was produced for regular circulation. But within the coin-collecting world, even standard dimes from this year were treated with a keen eye, as collectors and enthusiasts knew that anything from small minting errors to pristine, uncirculated coins could potentially make them more valuable. And it wasn't just the regular circulation dimes that garnered interest. The U.S. Mint also produced special proof versions of the 1984 dime, specifically for collectors. Proof coins are a different breed from regular circulation coins. They are minted with far more attention to detail and care, using specially polished dies and a unique minting process that ensures every detail of the coin is crisp and clear. These proof coins are generally made in limited numbers and are not released into general circulation. Instead, they are sold through special sets, such as the U.S. Mint's annual proof sets, which collectors can purchase. Proof dimes from 1984 are highly coveted because of their stunning quality and sharp, mirror-like finishes. They represent the pinnacle of minting craftsmanship and hold significant value in the coin-collecting community, but it wasn't just the proof coins that collectors sought after. Coins with minting errors, whether slight or more significant, are often some of the most valuable. Minting errors occur when the dies used to strike coins are misaligned or faulty, resulting in a coin that deviates from the intended design. These errors are rare and often go unnoticed when the coins are first released into circulation, but over time, numismatists and collectors begin to identify and seek out these rare variations. For the 1984 Roosevelt dime, errors like double die strikes, where the image is doubled due to the dies being misaligned, became highly sought after. Collectors were on the lookout for these unusual variations, knowing that they could increase the coin's value exponentially. The value of any coin is also determined by its condition. While many 1984 dimes were circulated in the everyday flow of commerce, some coins were carefully stored, preserved in excellent condition, and kept away from the wear and tear that usually happens in regular circulation. A coin that is in uncirculated condition, with sharp details and no visible signs of use, holds far more value than a worn coin that has been through many hands. For collectors, these pristine coins represent the best examples of the U.S. Mint's work, and as a result, they can command significant premiums. By the 1990s and into the early 2000s, the 1984 Roosevelt dime was beginning to gain recognition among collectors. What was once a common coin, used to make everyday purchases, was now being carefully examined and sought after for its potential rarity and pristine condition. As time passed, more and more collectors began to realize the importance of maintaining their coin collections in excellent condition, which only increased the demand for well-preserved 1984 dimes. But what makes the 1984 Roosevelt dime particularly noteworthy in today's coin-collecting world is a very rare, specific case that demonstrates just how valuable this seemingly simple coin can become. One particularly rare and flawless 1984 Roosevelt dime, possibly featuring an error or being part of a special minting process, was recently auctioned for a staggering $103,000. So, what does this mean for you? For most of us, the 1984 Roosevelt dime will remain just a small piece of change that we use in our daily lives. But for those who are serious about coin collecting, this dime serves as a reminder of the hidden value that can be found in everyday objects. A simple coin, which once had no more value than 10 cents, can, under the right circumstances, become a highly coveted treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 1996 one-dime coin may seem like a small and insignificant piece of currency, no more than a 10-cent coin that you might casually toss into your pocket or leave at the bottom of your purse. Yet, in the fascinating world of coin collecting, even the most unassuming coins can hold immense value. The truth is, while most 1996 dimes are worth exactly 10 cents, there's one that recently sold for an eye-popping sum, a figure that would have been unimaginable to the average person. But what makes this particular coin so valuable? What is it about the 1996 Roosevelt dime that has collectors and numismatists willing to pay thousands of dollars for it? Let's dive into the history, design, and secret factors that have turned this simple dime into a highly prized treasure. The Roosevelt dime has been part of U.S. currency for over 7 decades. Introduced in 1946, it was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. Roosevelt had led the nation through two of its most turbulent times, the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership, vision, and policies left a profound impact on America, and the decision to memorialize him on the dime was a fitting tribute. The coin's design, created by the talented engraver John R. Sinek, features a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, the front, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, the back, symbols that represent liberty, peace, and strength, all values associated with Roosevelt's leadership. Fast forward to 1996, and the Roosevelt dime had long been a fixture of everyday life in America. The design, unchanged for decades, had become an iconic symbol of American currency. At this point, the Roosevelt dime was a coin that almost everyone in the U.S. had handled at one point or another. But as the years went by, the world of coin collecting started to shift. Collectors began to take note of coins that were not only in good condition but also those that were rare, in uncirculated form, or even contained errors from the minting process. The 1996 Roosevelt dime, like all coins, was subject to these same factors. While most of these coins circulated without much fanfare, a few select dimes from that year began to stand out as potential goldmines for collectors. One of the most important aspects of coin value is condition. Over time, most 1996 dimes were passed from hand to hand, used in purchases, and became worn and damaged. However, some dimes were kept in pristine condition, uncirculated and untouched by the wear and tear of daily use. These coins, carefully preserved in protective cases or hidden away by collectors, would be worth far more than the average coin that had been circulated. A coin that is perfectly preserved is known as an uncirculated coin, and these are often in high demand among collectors who are looking for the best specimens to add to their collections. In addition to condition, rarity plays a major role in determining a coin's value. While millions of 1996 dimes were minted for circulation, only a small fraction were set aside in mint condition or produced as part of special proof sets. Proof coins are made with extra care using specially polished dies, resulting in sharp, detailed images and a mirror-like finish. These coins, often sold in limited edition sets, were not released for general circulation, making them much rarer and more valuable than regular circulation coins. A 1996 proof Roosevelt dime in excellent condition would be far more valuable than one that had been used as pocket change. Another factor that can elevate a coin's value is the presence of a minting error. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin's production, such as misalignments, double strikes, or even off-center impressions. These errors are quite rare, and the more unique or unusual the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. Mint errors often make a coin one of a kind, and that uniqueness can drive prices up considerably. In fact, some collectors actively seek out coins with minting errors because they're so rare and highly sought after in the numismatic world. So, what does all of this mean for the 1996 Roosevelt dime? While most of the dimes produced in 1996 remain worth their face value of just 10 cents, some have become coveted by collectors due to their pristine condition, proof finishes, or the possibility of minting errors. As coin collecting has grown in popularity and interest over the years, the 1996 Roosevelt dime has become one of the more desirable coins to hunt for, with certain examples commanding attention in the market. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for: the price. Despite being a coin that was originally minted for general circulation and worth only 10 cents, one exceptional 1996 Roosevelt dime recently sold for an extraordinary $84,000. Yes, that's correct, a simple dime, once worth just a fraction of a dollar, fetched a jaw-dropping sum at auction. What made this particular coin so valuable? It was a combination of factors: its condition, its rarity, and the unique circumstances surrounding its minting. This dime, perhaps a flawless uncirculated specimen or one with an intriguing mint error, became a treasure that collectors were willing to fight for. So, the next time you find yourself with a 1996 Roosevelt dime in your pocket, take a moment to look closely. It might just be the hidden treasure you never expected, worth far more than the 10 cents stamped on its surface. Who knows? Your next coin could be the one to make headlines in the world of coin collecting, fetching a price far beyond your wildest imagination. After all, in numismatics, every coin has its story, and that story might just have a surprise ending.